Welcome to Channel ATV. This is Davis live here at Channel ATV. We are so glad, we are so excited because we rode the red carpet for our brother from all the way from Hollywood. If you've seen us before, you know we're trying to feature different voices. And today we are so excited because we're talking about a brother from another mother. He's originally from Congo. And, his parents are all the way from Congo. And this brother has done amazing work. And I'll let you meet him in a few minutes here. And we're so excited because he's doing a lot of phenomenal work in the community, and we connected with him because of the difference that he's making in the community. So I'm so excited. And before we go any further, we're going to take a short break. When I come back, I'm going to bring our brother here all the way from Hollywood, and you guys will probably remember him once you see his face and once you recognize who he is. And, then we can have just a great conversation with him. And before we go ahead, I'll play something featuring him. Here we go.
What's up, y'all? This is MAYENGE.
You look different than I imagined from hearing your voice on the phone.
Here's the encrypted security footage which contains the governor's exploits. We hope you're as good as what we've heard.
Got nothing to worry about. Break the encryption using a codec targeter and rebuild the pixel data using a DAVIENCE accelerator module. The governor's little sex tape should be in your inbox by tomorrow morning.
Don't let that get in the wrong hands.
You have nothing to worry about. Sorry, I gotta take this. Алло? Да, обмен завершен, да. Нет, он ничего не подозревает. Дайте мне только избавиться от него. Так тоже можно.
I wouldn't do that if I was you, sir. Ain't no president ever looked outside that window, except one.
Why? It's just a window.
Yes, it is a window, but if you're gonna pull them drapes, you're gonna see the results of your presidency for years.
Come on!
After every inauguration, president come in this room, ain't not one president can pull them drapes, except one. William Henry, sir. Number 9.
Yeah. So what happened?
He died 32 days into his presidency, sir.
I'm excited. Do you guys want to know why I'm excited? Yes! I like your energy. A great man once said, save your money and the money will save you. So we're going to save some serious money up in here! Yes!
Yes!
Tonight, one of you will become the senior VP for Kingmaker Industries.
Wow.
And the other will gain professional freedom to transition to the next phase of their career. Why you keep looking at me like that, man? I know that look.
Man, bro, for real, I don't have a good feeling about this.
Look, man, let's go get this money. This joint have a set. Come on, man. Yo, how many more times I keep telling you stop talking about this damn boxing? You got mad bills, man. This boxing ain't gonna do nothing for you.
You don't know that.
Yo, man. Let's go get this money. Let's finish this job. Let's split this dough. And then you go do what you gotta do. Let's do it. What are we looking at?
2. I think they're gonna run. I've seen this before. The wife is sprouting, and the husband's gonna be a problem.
Get my eyes open. Anything else we need to know about?
No.
You're right, man. It's just a dream. It's in the past, okay? I want you to go back to sleep. Okay?
All right, welcome back. This is Davis. If you're wondering why we rolled out the red carpet for our brother here, it's not just because of his phenomenal talent, but it's because of all the work that he's doing in the community as well. So we thank you, and thank you for joining us. We want to give a big shout out to Congolese Integration Network for sponsoring this show. And I'm so excited today to have our brother join us. And without further ado, our brother, Mr. Norton Mayenge. Welcome to the show, my friend.
I'm good. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. It's good to see you. It's good to have you on the show. How's life going for you?
Everything's going, to be expected. We're trying to navigate, especially with COVID right now. But you know what? I'm blessed. My family's safe. I'm healthy. So we're doing okay right now.
Absolutely. So what do you think about our virtual red carpet? I know technology right now is
something. I love it. So talk about adjusting to the times.
Right. You're used to the actual carpet, but we had to do this just to make sure that we make you feel at home.
I appreciate that, brother.
Now, listen, bro, you are from, your folks are from Congo, and you're very passionate about Congo. So we're very excited to talk to you because particularly we connected because you have a special interest in helping and developing the youth from the Congo. So why are you so passionate about the folks coming from Africa? Even though you're born here, your parents are originally from Congo. Why are you passionate about the kids?
Because at the end of the day, that's where I'm from too. So I take that very seriously. My parents came here with a dream and an opportunity for us kids. I wasn't born yet, but they came here with a dream to give us a better life. And regardless of me not being born there and me being born here, that's still my culture. And so, yes, and I want to make sure that I'm doing the right things and taking the right steps to make sure I support my culture.
Absolutely. And we started this show by playing Trey Songz. Shout out to Trey Songz for How Many More Lives. If you haven't listened to that song, take your time and just listen to it. This brother is phenomenal. He's so talented. And we spoke behind the scenes about the times that we're going through, and we shared some of the moments, the challenges that we have as Black folks and things like that. Before we talk about your background, and how optimistic you are, let's reflect a little bit. The pandemic, how has it changed your life? Before we roll back and talk about your background.
It changed it drastically like anybody else, but me specifically, I had two films that one was started. I had already started shooting back in February, March. And then I had another one that was a pretty significant role. It was playing a public figure. I can't really talk about it as of right now, but those two significant roles that had to literally, be stopped because of the pandemic. And it's just tough because now we're navigating on when it's safe to film, when it's not safe to film. And so, like you said, virtual, you got the virtual red carpet here. I eventually created a talk show with our executive producer, Keith L. Craig, called The League Talk Show. And we talk about some of the current events, racial inequality, police reform. We talk about mental health, things like that.
Right.
To kind of plug in and I look at it more as a therapy session for the community, for people as a whole, to be able to have those conversations on what people are feeling.
Absolutely. So I know your story. You're born in Charlotte, and shout out to North Carolina over there. The folks are happy to see you doing your thing. Walk us through just how's your life. I know that you played basketball, and most people don't know that unless they followed your journey all the way back. So basketball was it for you, but then God said, no, that's not the direction. It's a different direction that you have to go to. So talk about your background a little bit briefly, how you got to where you are today.
So everything I did was centered around sports, specifically basketball. And I grew up playing basketball up until I played ball overseas in Germany. And I did well in school to play basketball.
Right.
And so, fast forward, I went to the University of North Carolina. And then after college, I got an opportunity to play professional overseas in Germany. And a great opportunity. I did well. I was out there for 2 seasons. Going into my 3rd season, I unfortunately got into a car accident. So a drunk driver hit me. And that 3rd season, it was tough. It was a life-altering thing I'm saying it mildly because it was very devastating. I had signed the contract to play in Spain. And from there, I would have had an opportunity to start
negotiations with some NBA teams for summer league opportunities, and you don't know where that could have went at that point. But that was not my path, unfortunately. And I went through that that time frame. I was depressed. I was going through a lot like anybody else that deals with something life changing. And so I went back to school. I got my my master's degree in internet marketing, and also I went to law school. And I moved out to LA because my agent was out here, and so I stayed out here after I stopped playing. And people would always ask me, "Are you an actor? Are you a model?"
Right.
I said, "Nah, I'm an athlete." But when that was no longer in the picture, I'm like, okay, let me see what these people are talking about.
Right. Let me try a little bit of acting and modeling.
Yeah. So, I got an opportunity to model, and picked up a model manager right away. And next thing you know, I'm modeling in New York Fashion Week and Miami Fashion Week and Paris. And it was just great opportunities that kept coming my way. And then I started taking acting classes with Tasha Smith. That she does a lot of Tyler. She's done a lot of Tyler Perry stuff, and
yes, Tasha.
And she was my acting coach, and I started doing a bunch of films, and it just kind of grown from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're sitting here. I know that you've worked with a lot of big names, right? And we just lost another big name. Chadwick Boseman. When you look at how his life was, how influenced are you when it comes to just how to approach life? What have you learned from his life, looking at your own life and say, if he can do that, maybe not that you have to do something exactly like that, but how has that helped you to reflect your own life?
He's a big inspiration to not only myself, but everyone as a whole. And you don't need to be in the entertainment business to feel that effect. He, for 4 years, he was dealing with cancer. And to make that impact, think of the films that he made during that time frame.
Right.
Black Panther, I think he had 42 during that time frame. The list goes on and on. And he was locked in. Right. No one knew. And he was dialed in despite being in pain. And to me, that's admirable. And the takeaway I got from that was that live your life and live it to the fullest capacity, and also do what makes you happy. And work hard towards your own goals, because you're not promised tomorrow.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, moving forward, you've gone through a lot of adversities yourself. You didn't talk about the car accident that ultimately altered your life completely. So when God said, you are saying, I want to do this, but then, something bad had to happen. Speak to someone who's watching us right now, who's thinking, okay, the pandemic basically just took away my life, took away my business, took away everything that I worked so many years hard for. What would you say to someone to just lift them up a little bit?
I would say we're very grateful because you woke up this morning. Feel what you feel, embrace what you feel, work through your feelings, but also know that believe. I think that would be the biggest thing. Start to strategize. Have that time frame where you do feel depressed, you do feel down, but then at some point transition that to, okay, this is the circumstance. This is what I'm dealing with like everybody else. Now, what can I do to either change my business or whatever I'm doing, or reinvent myself based on the times, and start to create plans. I'm big on writing things down and writing down my objectives. Okay, this is my overall objective. That's what they say in acting. That's what we say in acting, overall objective. And then you have branches from there on how to achieve that overall objective. And these are little things that you can start to plug into daily, getting up in the morning and plugging in each one and tackling each one to the point of where, okay, I'm back on the right track despite my circumstance in this pandemic.
Very well said. Very well said. And you talked about, you feel like it's your opportunity and it's your obligation for you to talk about, the systemic racism and things like that, and to bring a little bit of light to educate the people in the community. So specifically, you've worked with a lot of refugee kids coming from the Congo, right?
Yes.
When you look at those kids, what do you think we need to do going forward in order for them to integrate in the community, but also understand the adjustments that needs to be made so that they could be, fruitful members of the community. Not that they're not, but they are. They can create opportunities just like everybody else.
I think it's two things, one from their end and one from mentorship. The first, from a mentorship perspective, is to understand that we have to reach out to our youth, especially the Congolese kids, specifically, since that's who we're talking about. We have to make sure that they have opportunities to learn. And this is not just from a school perspective. This is from individuals who they can reach out to if they're feeling something. Okay, so then now you're giving them a platform to have someone to talk to not only be able to work through the problems that they're working towards or fixing, but also you're on the flip end of that, giving them the advice to be like, okay, you are enough. You are somebody special. You can adapt to this environment out here and not just thrive, but not just maintain, but thrive. That's one end. The second end is on them. And I encourage them, and I'll talk to any youth, and I'll tell them, look, you're special. That's the flat out thing. You're special. You're not insignificant. No one is more important than you, because we're all unique and we're all special in our own way. So when the kid can start to analyze that and internalize it, now you start to you start to project that to the world, that despite circumstances, if it's police brutality, if it's any kind of racial injustice, that you're special, so you're not going to allow yourself to feel inferior or allow anyone else to make you feel inferior.
Absolutely. Very well said, man. You talked about police brutality. One of the things that I love about Congolese Integration Network here in the Seattle area, what they're doing is to show the folks and the youth to see the other side of what policing means, to other folks, right? So we created this opportunity where the police officer met some of these kids who are trying to integrate into the community. So I want to just play that clip so people can understand, what that means, and what we have to continue creating when it comes to just adjusting as folks are coming from different parts of the world. So take a look.
Before you today is the Congolese Integration Network, otherwise known as CIN. The main force behind it is Floribert Mubalama, who is the founder and executive director of this community-based organization that is supported by United Way of King County and King County government in Washington State. One of the main focal points of this organization is youth development. This is a program that provides a structured, supportive environment for students and families through advocacy. In partnership with Cham Refugees Community, CIN developed a project named Immigrants and Refugees Youth Program, a youth support program managed by Providence Kamana, who is also a youth credible messenger and one of the youth support pioneers in the Congolese community. On this 13th day of October 2018, they have gathered the youth of this community, majority of whom are newcomers, as part of their weekly outreach. Most of these children came from the refugee camps and escaped the war zone in the Democratic Republic of Congo and were granted resettlement in the United States of America. These children are among millions of Congolese who have been forced to flee from their home country and as a result are extremely traumatized by what they experienced in their past. Understandably, they're still frightened when they see law enforcement officers because of the horrific events that they endured with the officers in Africa.
Our youth are coming from a war-torn country. It means a country in crisis. Like the Democratic Republic of Congo have been under war for 22 years now. And these youths are coming from a war-torn country. They were born in the war field, a red field. So when they're coming here, war is a cause of trauma. So they have already traumatic experience.
There's a lot going on in Congo. And these kids have been through a lot. They've been through a lot. They lived in refugee camps and so on. They've seen soldiers killing their parents and so on.
And some of them, I've been talking to them, they have lived in the refugee camp. So on top of the trauma they experienced from war in our country, they also survived the hardship in the refugee camp. So they have seen a lot of things that if we leave them without supporting them in this country, they will not be successful.
The purpose of this meeting was to break the fear between police officer and people in the community, especially young people, especially youth.
Our goal is to address such issues in a way that both helps them grow and have a better understanding regarding whatever the situation may be. In this case, law enforcement and law enforcement officers. In this meeting, the Congolese Integration Network has invited local police officers to come and address this group and attempt to diminish their fears by helping them understand the vital role that law enforcement officers have in our neighborhoods and communities, as well as tips on how to adjust to the American laws and culture.
And so far, I'm happy that the police can come down and really talk to our community, the refugees and immigrant community.
Sergeant Scott E. Deary and Officer Brian K. Taylor, both sheriffs, are here today to share their stories and experiences with this youth group. As we can see, the officers took their time to answer questions asked by the youth. They were moved and overwhelmed by the problems and issues that were brought up by these children. As the discussion progressed, they discovered that their presence and actions have unintentionally made people uncomfortable, even when the motive behind them were to serve and to protect. At the end of the session, Officer Brian K. Taylor expressed his appreciation of newfound knowledge regarding why some of these children, or other foreign people in general, feared the police officers in this country. According to him, this meeting has helped shift his perspective when it comes to dealing with foreign residents, especially those coming from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Well, welcome back. This is Davis here at Channel ATV. We are having a great conversation, but important conversation as well at the same time with our brother Newton Mayenge, all the way from the California area. And he's a phenomenal actor, but most importantly, we want to talk about the things, the change that he's been able to make and the path that he's creating going forward. So I'm going to bring him back into the feed here so we can talk to him. And my brother, welcome back.
Thank you for having me, my brother.
Yeah, so when you watch a clip like that, and you know these kids, you're working with these kids, you're looking forward to continuing on with that path of inspiring the youth, particularly coming from Congo and Africa in general. You know, you've made it already. You're in Hollywood. You know, but when you look back, you know, what inspires you to look back and reach one and grab onto any kid that you can find as you move forward?
I may not have had the same experiences because their experiences are very traumatic. And that needs to be honored. But I do know when I was a kid, I looked for a role model. You know, I looked for someone to give me guidance. So for myself, that's the least I can do for the next generation because they're our future leaders. So for me, it's very important to give back from that perspective to allow them an opportunity that either I have currently or something that I didn't have, but to give them that empowerment here and here, that they can do whatever they want to do and overcome all the obstacles. Because look, they've already overcome a lot. They're here. They're survivors. They're survivors.
Absolutely.
That could have ended a different way, but they're here. So now we have to foster them to be able to not only adapt, to be able to overcome that trauma that they're dealing with, but to be able to excel here moving forward.
Absolutely. And I know we're talking about all these things that affect the community and stuff. Let's go back to Hollywood a little bit, you know, so we can liven up a mood, because I know that we all get becoming intense, you know, as time goes by. So you know, just explain to someone who's watching this, you know, what should they expect if they made it to your level, to where they start, you know, casting into major movies and things like that? What are some of the challenges that you've faced, and how did you overcome some of the issues within the industry?
The industry is a very unique environment by itself. People just don't let you in, and you kind of got to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody to walk you in. There's a lot of phenomenal actors out here in Hollywood that are still trying to get their big break. So how I've always operated is if I can help someone, I will. And I look at it from that perspective. But I always treat people like they want to be treated. You know, a lot of times in this business, you have people who are very opportunistic, and they'll just befriend you just to get something from you.
That's right.
I'm the type of person who I'll be friends with somebody just because I want to be their friend. You know, if we create some opportunity as a result of the friendship, fine. But if not, that's fine too. So it's a very cutthroat, like any other industry, but it's very cutthroat because everyone's trying to make it. For me, I always look at it from how can I create work that can inspire folks. So when I get opportunities to be in something, I want to create work that can inspire people.
Very well said, my brother. Very well said. So obviously we're talking about how to set your mind, for success. If I'm a younger myself and I'm trying to look at my life today, in your case, what would you have changed? Obviously you love where you are right now, but if you look back, what would you have changed to make a better version of you?
I would have made it to the NBA.
You have an excuse of the accident, though. The accident cut you short a little bit. But you played in Europe. How many of us can say I played basketball overseas in Germany and stuff? I always tell my family members. I said if I was born in America, I would have been I don't know. So, but it depends on your height too. American football, so it depends on your height. So I'll be a wide receiver and all types of stuff. But we know that opportunity is there. Right? Everybody's blessed with different things, but opportunity is not fairly spread, right? So what could have been changed? You talked about the NBA, but what else were you going to change if you had the opportunity to change it?
You know what? When I was younger, maybe even 10 years ago, I would have changed certain things. But now, as I've grown and into the status that I'm at now, I wouldn't change a thing. Everything that I've gone through has made me the man I am today. If I wouldn't have gone through the car accident, I would not have had a better appreciation of life. Understanding that every day is important, understanding that giving back is important. So to answer the question, I would not have changed anything.
That's excellent, man. That's
everything. I would not have changed that.
Yeah, because every milestone for us changes, or rather points you in the right direction. So I love your answer. I'll probably say the same thing too. So yeah, man, Hollywood is cutthroat. For those of you that have been inboxing me talking about, ask him how I should make it to Hollywood, you better be ready because it's cutthroat. So you've done a lot of amazing work, obviously, over a period of time, and you've had the opportunity to work with a lot of different things. You've made choices based on your ideologies and things like that. You worked with Viola Davis. That's a legend right there. In my eyes, who are some of the folks that you've worked with that are just amazing and they've touched your life in a special way that most of the folks cannot relate with?
I've been blessed to have, and some of the younger folks may not know this gentleman, but he's an icon. I've been blessed to have Sidney Poitier as a mentor. He was the Denzel before Denzel.
Yep.
And he's broken down a lot. He's like 93 years old, but he broke down a lot of the business for me earlier on, and he allowed me to understand the importance of being a strong black man, but with integrity in Hollywood and how to navigate it. So he's one gentleman, which was one of the biggest ones. Of course, Tasha Smith.
Tasha.
Yes. Stephen Williams. I don't know if you guys remember him. He's on The Shy.
Yeah.
He was 21 Jump Street back in the day. He's been in a ton of stuff. Supernatural. He's been a very pivotal person in my life as well. And we're looking at writing something currently. So, I mean, the list goes on and on. It's a ton of folks who I've been able to lean on that's been in this business for so many years and have given me great advice, or I've worked with them.
Absolutely. Man, that just goes on because I mean, over the years, you just continue to work and work and work and work. So shout out to Providence, by the way, a young man that you connected with as well, who you're trying to mentor as you move forward. He's a great artist, and we'll actually play the outro with is one of his songs. And I want to give you the opportunity. My Lingala is very limited. I can speak a couple words. I can say mbote, just because I'm always around the Congolese. But can you say a sentence in Lingala or French?
Absolutely. This will be in Lingala. So, en tout cas, merci mingi, mon frère, pour opesingai opportunity pour to solo la na station oe na yo.
Oh, I'm not Congolese, but I can tell that's more whitened out a little bit if you can. I'm so sorry.
No, you know what? I always call it, and I'll talk to Providence about it. I'll call it the Lingala, the American Lingala.
English.
English. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. At least you're in tune with your roots, man. We truly appreciate that. Your dad inspired you in a very special way, because he was a doctor back home, and then he came here. He had to start all over. Most of us who come from different places, we realize that you can come with your education all you want, but sometimes you have to come here and start all over. What does that mean to you when you look at folks that are coming from overseas and they have to go through all this immigration and adjustments and things like that? How does that inspire you to move forward?
It inspires me because my dad did all those sacrifices so I could be born here, so I didn't have to deal with that part of it, and I don't take that lightly at all. My dad is 82 years old, and he's dying of cancer right now. So I've already promised him, because he doesn't have that much longer. I've promised him that I'm going to continue the legacy, and it's from a standpoint of inspiring. It's from a standpoint of making sure that if someone comes into the United States and they don't understand the process here once they go through the immigration system, as we all know, that I'm able to be educated, even though I'm born here, to be able to help someone if they ask me, because I feel like that's my duty as someone who not only grew up here, but also has the Congolese roots and the African roots, to be able to assist.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Ben. I do know about your dad going through cancer right now as we speak. This is a very special moment for us, because you just broke this live on air, and if your dad is listening and watching you right now, what would you love to say to him?
I just love to tell him that thank you for all the hard work that you've done for us. When there was some people didn't have that opportunity to even come here to be able to raise their kids. Thank you for giving us this chance here. I don't take it lightly, and I will continue your legacy.
Absolutely. Man, you are just a legend in the making. God has already ordained you with everything else. And I think if I'll be saying something, I'll be just repeating what God has already ordained. In closing, man, what's next for you going forward?
I do have one of the films that stopped shooting back in March. I just got clearance that we'll be shooting in November. It's called Dark Tales. It's a feature film. Very exciting. It's a little different than what I'm used to playing. It's a horror type film. I'm used to being the detective or the basketball player or that kind of stuff, but that'll be a different genre that I'm excited to partake into. And I got a couple other things under the works. I've got a Congolese film that I'm working on that's going to kind of showcase the Congo and some things that people may not understand or know about the Congo. So that'll be coming back up once it's safe and clear for us to continue to shoot. And we're just going to continue to work and inspire the kids in the process.
That's exciting, man. You're doing something for the Congo. That's amazing, man. And I'm sure you're so excited to do that, since you're always, connected with the community and particularly the Congolese community. So you've done a lot of amazing roles. What's been your favorite role that you've played?
I did a lot of modeling, and I actually got a chance to work with Michael Collier. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Michael, but he was in like House Party and a couple of things. I got a chance to play a model in a film that he was in. And let's see what else. If I have to pick one role, that's hard because I've liked them all.
Oh, that's a great answer. I
like them all because every one of them has shaped not only my skill set, but also my career, because every one of them is a building block. It's like your resume.
Yeah.
You go one and then you go to the next and you go to the next. But I wouldn't have got to my most recent without the previous.
Yeah, that's right.
Previous ones.
Excellent, man. So as we wrap up real quickly, there's something called census. This is September, obviously the last year of census. If you're watching this and you're wondering what census is all about, I'll ask you, Brother Newton, What does census mean to you?
Census is very important to me because it allows opportunities for programs to get funded. So, in other words, I feel like it's everyone's duty to be counted. You know, especially the 2020 census is I think this is probably the most important census ever at this point in the game, just because now we need funding to be able to create these programs for kids, for our Congolese kids, the infrastructures, roads, things like that, and other aspects from a schooling perspective. You need to be counted so that we're able to get the funding as a community to continue these programs. So for me, it's extremely important, and I'm an advocate of people understanding that they need to be counted.
Absolutely. And in closing, you know, this is one of the most important elections for most of us. You know, I've been here many, many years, and I don't remember, you know, being so wrapped up into politics like that, you know, to a point whereby I lose appetite sometimes and things like that. You know, so what would you say to encourage someone who's watching, you know, whether on the left side or the right side, you know, what would you say to encourage them just to show up? You know, what would you say to someone who's wondering to say whether they should vote or they should just ignore it?
You're going to be affected if you don't vote, no matter what. So your vote is your voice. It's very important to be able to establish that voice, to say that you did your part to make the changes that we do need in this country. And regardless of what you believe in, your voice is very important, and we all need to go in there and do our part.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to hear the closing statement from our brother. Stay tuned. You're watching Channel ATV live here on our presentation. If you want to follow us, you can go to channelatv.org, and if you want to follow Newton, you can go to Newton Mayenge on social media on every platform. Be right back.
Hey, yo, what's good, man? It's me, your boy Jay Holiday. You already know what it is. Right now, you're locked into the best right here, Channel ATV. Keep it locked.
All right, my brother, it's been a pleasure having you, man. I know that you have to rush to the airport, and I can't imagine the LA traffic right now, but we had enough time to just get in all the information, squeeze everything out of you. We are excited to see you in Seattle. I know that there are projects that you'll be working with the Congolese Integration Network right here in the state of Washington. So the kids follow us. The kids will be watching this. We appreciate you, man. So I want to give you the opportunity to say your last words, anything that you want to say from your heart.
Just want to say once again, thank you to CIN and obviously Channel ATV and yourself, my brother, for the opportunity to have this platform to be able to discuss all the things that we've discussed to ultimately make sure that we are an inspiration to these kids. That's first and foremost. And I want to make sure that they understand that you're not alone. We will always continue to help you as much as we possibly can, not only to integrate into the society, but to thrive in a society. And I'm excited to do my part with CIN to make that happen.
God bless you, man. You know, we're going to be watching you and supporting you. And finally, if somebody's trying to get in touch with you, I know I mentioned it, but there are people who are so passionate. You know, some of them, they'll climb over a rooftop or they'll climb over a wall just to get to you. You know, what's the right way to connect with you if they're trying to connect with you?
I'm heavy on Instagram, so feel free. I mean, you can check out my IMDb, but Instagram is a way you can even DM me. It's at Newton, NEWTON, Mayenge, MAYENGE, and DM me and let's have a conversation.
Absolutely. I would suggest that if you're watching this and you're trying to connect with Newton, you know, make sure your IMDb is actually cracking before you call him or before you reach out to him, because that's the first thing that you need to do if you're trying to get into Hollywood. You know, man, we appreciate you, man. Be safe when you go out there driving, picking up, you know, folks from the airport. We want to encourage you to just continue being safe, man. We appreciate you. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
God bless you too, my brother.
All right. So as we leave, we're going to leave you with a special song done by our brother, you know, Providence Kamana, right here in Seattle, Washington. This young man is blowing up. If you are listening to this, please stay tuned. You're going to see him very soon in the theater, in the arena next to you when the pandemic is gone. My brother, I'll catch up with you. I'll text you. We'll talk later, okay?
Sounds good, brother. Good talking to you always.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yesu nanga Ozamalambe Ozamalambe yo Ozamalambe yo Yesu nanga Ozamalambe Natali bomo inanga yo Isiko luko tanga Yesu Vremango luna yo Ekindelwe Oluko tanga na fulu Osukole yon pesitina Etini mala yemba Ozamalambe Ozamalambe yo Ozamalambe yo Yesu nanga Ozamalambe Ozamalambe yo Ozamalambe yo Yesu nanga Ozamalambe Ozamalambe yo Yesu nanga Ozamalambe Nekulusu yo desinstalaye Application masumunanga Ote langa Osantuna yo Jésus Yangona koma libre Nakoma nanga fude Jésus Koyemba yemba Olamuna yo Jésus Ozamalamu Yesu Ozamalamu nanga Vraiment nanga Ozamalambe Ozamalamu Yesu Ozamalamu papa Yesu nanga Ozamalambe Yesu nanga